Hey, what's up guys? So welcome back to another Star Wars video. If you're new channel, welcome. So this one is a video from a channel that I have not seen in a while. It is the channel The Stupendous Wave. So shout out and credit goes to The Stupendous Wave for this video, and I have seen many videos from this channel already. But this video is called The Birth of the Dragon, the story of Darth Krayt. So a lot of people, I mean not a lot of people, about like maybe 2 or 3 like viewers and subscribers have been like reaching out to me asking me to like check out Darth Krayt more because he is their favorite Sith Lord. So I decided to check them out. Check out this video, The Birth of the Dragon, the story of Darth Krayt. Now, if I remember, wasn't Darth Krayt, I don't want to say something incorrectly. Didn't he have like some sort of like bugs, like indestructible bugs or like parasites that were like attached to him that created like some sort of armor, but it like in a way kind of put damage on his life, if I remember correctly. I don't want to say anything else beyond that because I don't want to be wrong. So hopefully, well, I mean, this video will be very informative and I guess I'll learn a lot more. But if you guys have any fun facts or anything you guys want to add about Darth Krayt, please put down in the comments below. I would love to hear it. So without anything else, let's just jump into the video.
Our tale of Asherad Het, Darth Krayt, continues. The only Tusken Jedi in his path to becoming one of the most feared Sith Lords in all of Star Wars legends. In the Legacy era, Darth Krayt is responsible for the recreation of the Sith Order into what is known as the One Sith, a cult which essentially worships him as the one true Dark Lord, and a cutthroat command structure to boot. But as we've been recounting his story, Asherad has so far seemed to us like one of the wisest and most powerful Jedi in the entire Order, despite being a Tusken and suffering through the death of his father. Most powerful.
So I did not know that. I mean, I thought I misheard, but so he's a Tusken. I don't think I've seen Tuskens like without their like. If he's talking about the Tusken Raiders from like Tatooine, never seen like, well, I don't think many people have, like without their like bandage heads and their metal parts and things like that. But if that's what they look like underneath, that's really cool. Physically, I am human. I thought my mother was a Tusken, but I learned on Coruscant that Tuskens and humans are not genetically compatible. Interesting. And also he started off as a Jedi. Well, then again, that's how many Sith Lords start off as.
Jedi in the entire Order, despite being a Tusken.
That's crazy. That's really cool.
Of his father, who he would train with, and later training under the Dark Woman, one of the Jedi Order's toughest instructors. Asherad Het became a Jedi who knew better the ways of vengeance than anyone else, even teaching Anakin Skywalker a lesson when Anakin attacked him for being a Tusken. But all of this built up wisdom and care would crash down during Order 66, when Asherad found his Jedi compatriots dead and decided to finally let loose, shredding through every clone trooper in his path as he fought his way out of the Order. Back on Tatooine, he resumed his place as a Tusken war chief until coming in direct battle with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Their duel was a brief but a brutal one, and it resulted in Asherad being defeated and disgraced from his tribe, having lost.
So Darth Krayt, wait, I want to go back a little bit.
Skywalker a lesson when Anakin attacked him for being Order 66, when Asherad found his Jedi compatriots dead and decided to.
So that's what I really find interesting right now. I thought Darth Krayt was gonna be someone that like, you know, way back during the Old Republic time, but instead he was here during like the prequels. He knew Anakin Skywalker. Anakin Skywalker disliked him because he was Tusken, and we all know why Anakin dislikes Tusken Raiders, because of what they did to his mother. But it looks like he went to like a rage during Order 66, but also went back and now he embraced his Tusken heritage. But the fact that he also faced against Obi-Wan as well.
Defeated and
then he could dual wield too. That's cool.
Having lost now his arm and his home, Asherad was forced to wander the stars. And today, my friends, we're going to open up a holocron and enter the darkest chapter of the life of Asherad Het and the birth of Darth Krayt, one of my favorite Sith Lords in all of the lore. As we have now entered the era of the Dragon. Following his banishment from Tatooine, Asherad decided to hide his Jedi nature in the Empire-ruled galaxy and picked up the only job that he knew that he would be good at: a bounty hunter. Several years into hunting, Asherad would chase down a bounty by the name of Resk through the Outer Rim and onto the world of Korriban. Here, one of the planet's infamous violent storms downed both the ships of Asherad and his bounty. And on the surface, Asherad battled with Resk, revealing his lightsabers, as they were now in a remote location, and Asherad could reveal his nature in the Force. Resk claimed that Asherad couldn't turn him in now, because he would reveal Asherad was a Jedi. But just as the storm had downed both of them, Asherad was fresh out of mercy this time, and he knew that Resk would never leave these sands, relieving the bounty of his head, stating that the bounty was the same, dead or alive. The once proud Jedi Master has fallen. He is broken mentally. He does not know what he is any longer. And the code that he once held strong to is nothing. Obliterated by Vader and Sidious. The lesson Obi-Wan Kenobi had hoped to impart upon him didn't have the effect that the Jedi Master intended. Now, because Asherad and his actions, he was alone, and a darkness had grown within him, one which was no longer tempered by his decision to adhere to his Jedi training. Everything that Ki-Adi-Mundi and the Dark Woman had invested in him was gone, replaced by a hatred for the Empire, a disdain for his life. A dragon was growing.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm just surprised that he hasn't even bled his lightsaber crystals yet.
Growing within Asherad Het. But this is when he heard something. He heard something that would change his life. No, he felt it. A voice calling from within one of the ancient temples. A woman's voice, calling his name through the Force. Asherad would follow this voice into the depths of the Dark Temple, where he was led to a sealed door. With a rough explosion of the Force within him, he would shatter the door into pieces, only to be
Looks
met
like a holocron.
by a simple holocron in the center of the room. Asherad picked up the holocron, and out of it came the spirit of the Lady Zozan. For those who need a refresher, Zozan was one of the first 12 Dark Jedi that came to Korriban with Ajunta Pal, following the Second Great Jedi Schism. She is ancient, she is powerful, she is a founding member of the Sith, and the fact that her holocron still existed undisturbed for thousands of years later is legendary. It has been waiting. As the spirit of Zozan explains, she had kept their presence hidden from anyone who sought to find her, Jedi and Sith alike, until this very moment. She had specifically been waiting for someone like Asherad.
And she reached out to him.
Someone who has served the light and found it empty, who has found the lacking in the galaxy, someone who has known anger, hate, and now despair. She then asks Asherad if he was willing to open himself to the truth, and slowly, the former Jedi agrees. But make no mistake, my friends, this is not the birth of Darth Krayt, or when he was dubbed to join the Order of the Sith. Asherad here had no intention of joining the Sith whatsoever. In fact, Asherad was attempting to deceive the spirit of Zozan. He planned on learning the secrets of the Sith, acquiring new skills and power so that he could use them to destroy Vader and Sidious. His plan this entire time was to use the Sith secrets to destroy the Sith ruling class, to become...
Oh, okay. So this kind of reminds me a little bit of two factions and two people, like Darth Revan. Darth Revan, he may have become Darth Revan Malik. So they may have became like Sith, but however, they didn't like join the Sith Empire and things like that. They created their own faction and was destroying the Republic and the Sith. And another one, I don't remember it very well. I mean, the names and everything, but it was I did watch it on the channel. There was another Sith Lord that created like his own brotherhood and wanted to like create his own, I guess you could say, empire and gain power his own way. But how it was trying to like destroy, if I remember correctly, destroy the Republic and the Emperor as well. So it kind of reminds me of that. Darth Krayt, he does not seek to join Palpatine or Vader. He seeks to destroy them. But by doing so, he's going down a really dark path, and he's going to just create his own Sith Order.
Something powerful enough to bring the Sith to an end. This was his truth. But this was all a lie. Not to Zozan, but to himself. He had no idea the truly corruptive nature of the Sith. He was caught in its snare, and was blind. So blind, in fact, that when he finally emerged from the depths of the temple to return to the stars, he found that it was too late. He had been in the temple for so long that Luke Skywalker had already bested Palpatine, Vader, and the Empire was crumbling.
Oh,
As a
so
side
this is
note,
past
I want
episode
to talk
6.
about how insane Sith temples are and the effect that they have on the minds of Force sensitives. We've talked at length before about how the construction of these temples are meant to channel the energies of the dark side directly, and it's like they have a malicious mind of their own. The temple knew what it was doing to Asherad Het, and the Lady Zozan knew as well. She said she had been waiting for someone like Asherad for thousands of years. This was all planned out. She would ensnare them by appealing to their desire for vengeance, and then warp their perception of time. They would become so immersed in the Sith teachings, far longer than they believed, and they would come out changed. And although Asherad didn't know it yet, he had indeed changed forever. Asherad had lost all purpose. He was empty. His desire for vengeance was left unsatisfied, and he felt he had no place in the galaxy. And so
Yeah, because his purpose was to destroy Palpatine and Vader, as mentioned. But now, since Luke did it for him, now he needs to find a new purpose.
So, he took to the stars, left for the unknown regions, intending to lose himself in the great abyss forever. But of course, my friends, we said unknown. And unknown does not mean empty. Asherad would run into a scout ship of the Yuzhong Vong, and was shocked when the Force told him nothing about the attackers that now overwhelmed him. He crashed inside the hangar of one of their ships, and was perplexed at what he found. He had never seen anything like the ship he was in. It was fully organic. Neither had he seen anything like the warriors that now accosted him, or the weapons that they used to beat him with. The Vong defeated Asherad, overwhelmed him with their strange organic weaponry, and they would imprison him on their ship to study him. As Asherad awoke, he found himself in a Vong torture device known as the Embrace of Pain. It hung him upside down, and the more he tried to escape, the more pain it inflicted. Not only that, but he discovered that his cybernetic arm had now been removed and was replaced with something organic. And there was more. The Vong had implanted his body with coral seeds as an experiment, as they had been fascinated by his Force abilities. These coral seeds would later become the bane of Krayt's existence, as they were meant to be an experiment to corrupt his mind, but instead, all they did was inflict endless pain, slowly killing him over the course of decades. During his capture, he would meet with another former Jedi Master by the name of Vergir, who was also captive on the Vong ship. She had been a master prior to the Clone Wars, and had gone missing on a mission to the Zonana sector. She claimed that she had studied under Sidious himself in an attempt to betray and kill him, but that she had failed, and was captured by the Vong when she fled the known galaxy. But Asherad would note that it was difficult to tell whether she was lying or telling the truth, as the lies were only a means to an end for Vergir. She would inform Asherad that there was no escape, and would coach him on simply letting go, to learn to embrace the pain. For an unknown amount of time, Asherad's existence was an endless state of pain dominated by experiments by the Vong. His body was enhanced to better withstand the strains put on it by the experiments, including his left eye being amputated and replaced with the eye of a Vong creature. Between these sessions, he would be placed back into the Embrace of Pain, where Vergir would sometimes come and teach Asherad to use the agony of the pain to embrace, to open himself up. And when he finally did, Asherad received a grand vision, a vision of himself at the helm of a new Sith Order. And this is when his philosophy was born. And we will let the words of Asherad himself explain it. Power without purpose is meaningless. The galaxy is chaotic. Order must be imposed because it will never be chosen. The Jedi will not do it. A new order of Sith must be created in secret. My Sith will be many, but they will also be one. The order itself above all. Power magnified by its focus. When they began, the Sith were many. Bane changed the rules and changed the Sith. Now I have been called to change them again. Vergir would listen to Krayt, but
okay, yeah, so now that occurred to me, because this is way after Darth Bane, so they were still under the rule of 2, but it looks like Darth Krayt went against that rule and broke it and went back to the old ways, like during the Old Republic where there's like so many Sith. But instead, it seems like he wanted to create many Sith, but he knew that I guess he understands the mistakes of the past, where since there were many Sith in the past, that's what led to like civil wars, internal conflicts of Sith like betraying and killing one another. So I think what he's trying to focus on is to break the rule of two, create a Sith order, but however to learn the mistakes from the past, and where they don't betray each other, they work together, kind of like the Jedi. So it kind of feels his Sith order is like a mixture of Sith philosophy, but also Jedi philosophy and teachings as well.
Would ultimately reject him, as she stated that it was clear that Asharad was following a different path from her own, and she would need a student who would listen to her teachings. It was then that she abandoned Asharad and left him to die there. But that was when Asharad began planning his escape. Much time had passed, but when he got the opportunity, he proved that he was more powerful than ever, fully capable of commanding the dark side at full strength. Unleashing tsunamis of force lightning on the Vong captors, Asharad recreated the path of destruction that he wrought during Order 66, and the Vong implants in his body allowed him to use their organic technology, enabling him to steal a ship known as a Coral Skipper starfighter and escape. But Asharad knew that the Vong needed to believe that he was dead, so he made sure the ship that he had been on was destroyed after he departed. It was the eve of the Yuzhong Vong invasion, which would place this now somewhere around the year 25 ABY. This meant that Asharad had been living in torment by the Vong for nearly 20 years. But instead of warning the galaxy of the impending invasion, Asharad decided to simply return to Korriban. To warn the galaxy would be to reveal himself, and he could not do that. Asharad Het had died on that ship, and he now dubbed himself Darth Krayt, choosing a name which reminded him of his now lost Tusken past. It was an appropriate name, as Tusken teenagers had to slay a Krayt dragon in order to complete their coming-of-age ceremony.
That makes sense on
the same way, Asharad had gone through his own coming-of-age ceremony, now stepping into the full role as the Dark Lord of the Sith. And so Darth Krayt was a proper moniker for the former Jedi. Krayt paid no attention to the suffering of the galaxy during the Yuzhong Vong War, and instead focused on building the one Sith. He had intended on bringing Lady Lumaya into their plans, but Lumaya ended up teaming with Vergir in order to turn Jacen Solo to the dark side, creating Darth Kaitis. But that served Krayt's plans just fine, as Kaitis drew the Jedi Order's attention.
I'm not very familiar with Jacen Solo and Darth Kaitis.
Away from the one Sith. The Sith continued to hide under the miasma of dark-side energy of Korriban, never being known to the Jedi Order. But a problem still remained. The coral seeds in Krayt's body were slowly killing him, not to mention all the other experimentation that the Vong had done should have put Krayt in an early grave. But instead, he used several dark-side rituals to prolong his life, while also having himself put in a stasis casket. It would take many years for his body to heal, so he remained in constant stasis, but would leave his mind open to his closest followers, namely the Sith Darth Warlock, who carried out all of Krayt's desires for the one Sith. We do know of a time when Darth Krayt would emerge during the Abeloth crisis, where the Sith would actually help Grandmaster Luke against Abeloth in the final battle. But all of this for Krayt was to just ensure that there was still a galaxy left for him to conquer. Afterwards, it was business as usual, and he would retreat back into hiding until almost 90 years into the future, past the death of Luke. When the One Sith emerged, they usurped control from the new Galactic Empire, defeated the Galactic Alliance in a war, and scattered the Jedi after attacking their temple on Ossus. But that is the story for another holocron, as we finally enter the era of the Dragon. So friends, what do you think of the journey of Asharad Het to Darth Krayt, and Krayt's birth? The birth of the dragon. It's a different story that's actually much different from how most Jedi to Sith descend. Krayt wishes to do good for the galaxy in his own way by uniting it under one figurehead so that it will no longer be weak and vulnerable. Asharad's fall was almost as tragic as Anakin Skywalker's, as it could have been entirely preventable in several spots. Perhaps if he had decided to seek out Luke after emerging from the Korriban tombs, he may have been saved, or maybe not. Where exactly would you say was the point of no return for Asharad Het? Let us know your thoughts down below on this tale of Darth Krayt. And as always, my friends, may the Force be with you.
Okay, now I actually see why you guys love this character, because he really is amazing. Now, before I forget, what He asked like, where was the point of no return for Osh'Roth? I would say maybe. I say maybe around 2 points. One, I say when his like conflict with Anakin Skywalker, when Anakin found out he's a Tusken, but also in a way Order 66, because that's when he like took down the clones. That's when his anger and rage got to him, but he didn't like fully turn to the dark side. But that it sounds like that was when he finally took his like first step down that path. But also when he fought against Obi-Wan Kenobi, and doesn't look like Obi-Wan really like helped out Osh'Roth. It just said, "I'll spare your life, but you gotta go and figure things out." So I say those points are like where it just like led him down this path. But one thing I did learn, and the very first thing I did learn within the first 30 seconds of this video, was he is Tusken. I did not know that, and I don't know if it was mentioned or it shows, but like I said, I think he may be the one with the powerful like parasitic bugs that like attach to him, that like created armor, or that may be someone else. But on top of that, I did not know he was within this timeline. He was with the Jedi Order at this time. He experienced Order 66. He was going after Vader and Palpatine, and he is still around even after Luke's death. So this is really new to me. Because I mean, I thought this was someone that was like during the old Republic time, when I first heard that he was creating a Sith Order. So I was thinking, okay, so he's just like a Darth Revan trying to create something new. But man, was I wrong. So again, guys, if you have more videos about Darth Krayt, I would love to see them. And like I said, if you have any more information or fun facts about Darth Krayt, please put it down in the comments below. But besides that, I really had I had a lot of fun watching this one, and I learned so much about a new character, Darth Krayt. So that's all I got for today, guys. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video. And also shout out to all my members, subscribers, viewers. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your support, guys. I really do appreciate it. So without anything else, see you guys next time.